Should you buy cash, finance, or lease a car? If you want to get the best bang for your buck and make the best decision financially when buying cars, then watch till the end of this video as I share with you my experience in buying cars. I will also share with you the option in leasing. Having a car here in Canada is a must, especially if you're living in places where public transportation is not dependable. Buying cars usually is the first biggest purchase that any new immigrants make when in Canada. Also, taking your families and friends on a road trip is a pastime here, so you can pretty much drive the entire Canadian archipelago from end to end. But first, a little bonus information. Before you even think about buying the car of your dreams, know that your credit rating plays a big part, especially when you're going to finance or lease your vehicle. Dealers can take advantage of your situation and give you a high interest rate if your credit is poor. So if you see those car dealership advertisements saying, "No credit" or "Poor credit approved," think twice as you might end up with an extremely high payment. Please take note that I'm not a financial advisor and this is purely for educational purposes only. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Let's start with buying with cash. This method appeals to those who prioritize outright ownership and want to avoid long-term financial commitments. It's perfect for someone who has the financial means to make a substantial upfront payment. For example, if you're financially secure and don't like the idea of monthly payments or accruing interest, paying cash allows you to own the car outright from day one. No loans, no debt, and no interest charges. But let's face it, most of us coming here as new immigrants don't have enough cash to buy a new car up front. I know I didn't. One option is to buy a used one in cash. In Canada, there's a few sites that you can check out to find good, decent cars like Kijiji or AutoTrader. Just to be clear, I'm not sponsored by these sites. If you do decide to check out these sites, just be careful as there's also a lot of bad cars and bad people trying to take advantage of others. So if you think that this is a good option for you, then I would suggest taking the car to a mechanic first or bring a mechanic with you before buying. And you can also request or pay for a Carfax report, which can tell you what the history of the car is, including accident damage, open safety recalls, service records, and other important informations. I bought my first car here in Canada in cash. It was a 2005 Ford 500 with 200,000 kilometers mileage. It cost me about $2,500. The mileage was high when I bought the car, but it was still in very good condition, and I had that car for a few years until I needed to upgrade to a bigger car because my kids were just growing and it was not practical anymore. Okay, but what if you're one of those people that don't want any headaches from car breakdowns and mechanical issues? Then you might want to go buy a new car through financing. Car financing is a deal for individuals who want to spread the cost over time while having equity in the vehicle. Financing also helps you build your credit rating. This is for people who prefers manageable monthly payments, the ability to modify vehicles, and the idea of eventually owning the car. Financing is the right choice for those individuals. But remember, there's interest involved, and if you're a new immigrant, you usually would have a low credit rating, so therefore your interest rate might be higher than usual. There's three critical things that you need to consider when financing: the price of the car, what your interest will be, and what is the term of the financing. Obviously, the higher the price of the car MSRP, the higher your scheduled payments would be. Also, if your interest rate is high, then your payments also go high. And lastly, if your term is longer, then you might end up paying a whole lot of money in total than having a lesser term. For example, you might see a lower monthly payment if your term is spread out to 7 years, but you can end up paying 30 to 40% more than the original price of the car, compared to paying it off in just 3 years. I have a few suggestions if you are thinking of going for financing. First, try to give a higher deposit to offset the interest charges over time. Another one is try to opt for a shorter term if your budget allows. At least you end up owning the car faster. Try to pay off more than the usual scheduled frequency of payment if you have extra money, like getting a bonus for example, or an increase in your salary. Put it as payment to the car. Eventually, you can get out of your term way faster and have 100% ownership of the car in no time. And lastly, try choosing a decent used car with low mileage. They are a lot cheaper than brand new cars and can still be in great condition. I bought my second car, a brand new 2015 Toyota Sienna, with financing options, and I used the strategies that I mentioned, and we were able to get out of the term faster ending up owning the car in just a few years. If you're liking this video so far, you might want to check out my other video on the real cost of living in Canada, as I tackle the different areas that can impact your finances directly if you're a new immigrant. Also, give me a thumbs up and share this video to other people you think might benefit with this video on buying cars in Canada. Okay, next up is leasing. This option might be attractive for those who enjoy driving newer cars, value lower monthly payments, and prefer to switch vehicles frequently without the hassle of reselling. Let's say you love having the latest car models every few years and don't want to worry about long-term maintenance costs or depreciation. Leasing offers the opportunity to drive a new car more often without the commitment of ownership. There's also an option to buy the vehicle after the lease term ends, which is usually from 2 to even 5 years, depending on the dealership and the model of the car. But there are some disadvantages of leasing a car. First is that you don't own the car, so you can't make any changes to it, like changing the rims for example, or adding tints to the glass. Another one is that there is a limit to the mileage. Usually it's around 20,000 to 24,000 kilometers, and you can get charged per kilometer that you exceed. So if you're the person who likes to do road trips, then this might not be the best option for you. Another disadvantage is that your insurance premium can go up. You see, you're expected to get full coverage for the car since it's not yours. So this can increase your payment for insurance. In conclusion, your decision should align with your priorities and long-term goals. Buying with cash offers immediate ownership. Financing allows spreading the cost while building equity. And leasing provides flexibility with newer cars. Consider your financial situation, driving habits, and preferences before making your choice. I see a lot of immigrants out there that are trapped into buying a car and ending up choosing the wrong strategy. They end up either broke or getting another job just to pay for the car, which is very sad to see. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.